Here's a summary of QoS, quality of service policies, and some design patterns that they apply to. So first, a key takeaway. QoS policies allow you to define or configure DDS behaviors that are required for different data streams. Okay, so not all data behave the same way in a system. Not all connections need to behave the same way in a system. So QoS policies allow you to configure different behaviors for different data streams. There are three common data patterns that we can generally divide up communications into: periodic data, state and status data, command and event data. And then we'll see that there are different QoS policies that are important depending on what data pattern you're trying to use for a topic. But data patterns aren't the only, or communications patterns aren't the only thing that these QoS policies can help you implement, or the requirements of your system. You may have requirements of high availability, fault tolerance. You may have a requirement of guaranteed messaging. You may have requirements for scoping or scaling your system, and there are QoS policies that are very important for each of those. Finally, really, QoS is probably the most powerful and also the most complicated feature of DDS. It's really what makes DDS unique. Okay, it makes it very different than anything else that you might find out there. But it is the most complex part of DDS. Because of that, RTI has offered QoS profiles, built-in QoS snippets and profiles that have been predefined. It's kind of like driving a car. When you drive a car, your car probably has a button that says Eco for economic driving, or Sport, okay, for sport driving. You press that button or release that button and you put it in sport mode, all of a sudden your engine becomes more powerful. Maybe your suspension is stiffened. A variety of things, a variety of configuration is happening under the hood. Okay, you don't know exactly what it does, but you know you're driving a more powerful car. Of course, you're also using more gas. Now, if you're just driving to and from work, you want to conserve gas. Maybe you'll just drive on the eco setting. Now, what does the eco setting do? What does the sport setting do? Well, that depends on the car manufacturer. So RTI offers for DDS these kind of prepackaged configurations. And of course, it's a lot more complicated than just sport and eco. And there are a variety of these prepackaged configurations, either packaged in QoS snippets or profiles, and these are called built-in QoS snippets and profiles. And generally, we recommend you start with these snippets. You start with our built-in profiles when you're building your own QoS configurations. So here's kind of a little summary of some of the QoSs that have been discussed. And RXO is a request versus offered. Changeable is the value of this policy changeable after you create the object with that policy. What does it apply to? If it applies to periodic data, what value do you want to set? If it applies to state and command or state and status data, what value do you want to set? Versus command and event data. You'll see that these QoS policies by themselves aren't specific to a data pattern, but how you use a policy, okay, definitely is something that can be different for different communication patterns.